Hey, so we're working on a 2019 Grand Design Imagine, and I'm getting ready to do some resealing on the body and up on the top of the roof. So stay with me and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So what I'm looking at is I'm looking at all the putty that's bled out. That's also an indication that the molding is a little bit loose as well. So what I want you to think about is when that molding's on there and the coach is flexing, this molding is vibrating, causing it to help push out that putty. You can see on this side how the sealant is getting very cracked, and in some areas it's even missing where it's just dried up and fell right out of it. So I'm up here at the roof line now, and just what I wanted to show you was, you know, the penetrations that are in the back from like the rain gutter where it's moved. And see right here, I don't know if you can see this or not, but this molding has completely let loose. So this whole corner right here has picked up off the front of the coach and has pulled itself loose and moved up at least 1/4 of an inch. You can see where it's rippled the material and coming up. Basically, that's completely filleted that whole area open. So now what I've done is I've added an additional screw here, and I've added another additional screw here. So what I found was this screw was loose, this screw is loose. Those are both at the original 6-inch mark. And then this molding was loose, and you can see the thickness difference and the height difference is now closed up a lot more compared to what it was. So I got one more screw hole to put back in that's going to hold down my screw cover. But that's going to make a big difference on keeping this thing back together. So now I've got the corner resecured to put my screw back in on the insert molding. I'm starting to spray and wipe down everything with my Cosmoline. We use a pump spray, and then I'm using a terry cloth towel. I'm going to clean up and wipe up my Dicor, or if you want to refer to it as alpha Dicor surface, so that the new stuff will adhere to it. You can see by the color how white it is compared to how dirty it is. And you can see the cracking that's starting to develop in the skin of it. And so that's just an example of it being dry. When the sealant has oils in it, and when it gets hot, the oils bleed out and allow the dust and dirt to stick and collect to it. What I've done is I've done basically the same thing on this side as I did on the other side, had LZ do it. I've added some additional screws in here to try to tighten her up. Of course, we're going to thicken all this up with black. We're going to do this area up here with black. I'm actually going to take and I'm going to come down to about here with my black Dicor. And I'm going to take my non-sag and I'm going to come down to about here on both sides, so that it's not quite visible from the ground up. So I'm staying kind of up high. What I don't want to happen is when it's raining, all this area from say here up is acting like a cup. And as this insert molding shrinks up over time, it's going to allow water to go back behind it. It's going to hit every single screw head as it travels all the way down and hopefully comes out of the bottom. But if it doesn't, which it usually doesn't, when it hits that screw head as it's coming down, it's going to catch the screw head and it's going to run inside, and it's either going to damage the wall or the corners or the frame or go clear down and hit the floor. So I want to make sure that I get all that cleaned up. He's also got to come back and finish wiping down and scraping off the rest of this putty that's bled out on this side. He has to be real careful because this is a decal here. So, but we're going to seal all that up.